Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. So today I'm doing something a little bit different and I'm really excited to share this with you. I have finally been able to get into my original Stardew Valley farm file, the one I played from day one. And it was so exciting because I thought this file was corrupted. Every time I've tried to get into it, it would crash and it wouldn't load in. And I finally figured out today that it was simply due to having the Stardew Valley Expanded mod in my folder for my other personal game. The reason being is that mod, as amazing as it is, you can only use it with brand new save files. So because I was trying to load it into my original farm, where I didn't originally have that mod in, it was causing the crash. And once I took it out, it was working amazing. Now, obviously, I started this channel in January 2023. However, 2 years ago, I did upload a Stardew Valley farm tour, which you may or may not have seen. If you have, first, let me apologise for the terrible sound quality back then. I didn't have a mic. I was using a built-in one. But I thought it'd be really cool now that I can get into the file to show you what the farm looks like now. I haven't actually been able to play this for maybe 1 to 2 years, so this is going to be quite new to me too. I haven't really looked about much. I wanted to do that with you on camera. But one of the big changes is I do use a lot of mods in my game now, so it will look quite a bit different to the first tour that I did. But without further ado, let's jump on in and take a look at the farm. Here we are inside my original Stardew Valley farm. Now this save file was the one I played with from the start, so after I reached the late game, before Ginger Island and that came out, I started to experiment with a bunch of different mods and aesthetic mainly as well. So I wanted to have a lot of fun with that. So obviously this game had no rules, no restrictions, it was just my personal fun game and I thought it'd be really cool to show you. But yeah, don't judge me, I did marry Elliot, he is such a swooner. Oh, look, I was going to grab an extra bottle of ink from my cabin today, but then I remembered the luau is tomorrow. I'll just do it then. But he is so romantic, so I couldn't help it. I married Elliot in my first game. But this is one of the first mods that I started using and it quickly became my favourite. It's the seasonal farmhouse, which I absolutely love. It just looks so pretty. Plus it gives you this bathroom where you can replenish your energy. And you get this really cool area up the top where I believe I kept all my chests here, which are of course color coded and labeled because I am a weirdo and that stuff is really, really super satisfying to me. So I just stored all my spare stuff in here usually. I don't know if there is stuff, yeah. And so I've got a bunch of different things in here and yeah, that's where I used to keep it. I believe I had a mod called Chests Anywhere, where you could label and just access any of your chests from one spot, which was super handy. So that's the house, and it does have a basement. I believe I've got a basement expansion mod, if I remember rightly. As I said, I haven't played this game in this file for probably 1 to 2 years, so I don't remember everything in it, so we're kind of exploring it together. But yeah, I thought I did. So I used to just grow ancient fruit down here, star fruit. My seed makers for that were here, and I used to obviously age stuff and then pop it in the chest. One of the mods I got used to playing around with in the late game when everything got very time consuming was the automate mod. So you'll see that throughout the farm. I did have paths connecting the chest to the machines so that everything would kind of automate, you know, stuff would go straight in the chests from the machines or back into the machines when I added stuff to chests. So it was really, really helpful. But this is the farm and oh my god, it's been so long since I've seen it. Oh wow. Now if you did happen to see the first farm tour I did, obviously it will look different now that I'm playing around with mods and trying them out, but let's start and work our way around. So first of all, this little area here I made for my sister-in-law because me and her used to play this game a lot together and hopefully we will do again soon. But she added a house on her farm for me and I did the same for her. So she has this very, very cute little cabin, which obviously is affected by the farmhouse mod again. But it has her own little bathroom where you can jump in and replenish your energy like you would in the bathhouse and just like in my house. Plus I set her up with these tools and things like that for her in the beginning. So yeah, that used to be a lot of fun. And of course she's got a horse. I do have Elle's animal replacements, so you'll see my horses and my barn animals and so on all look a little bit different. This right here is one of the totems, the teleporters, but I use a mod I believe called Ancestral Trees, and it just changes the look of them so they're not, you know, those gigantic poles sticking out like sore thumbs around the farm. And I just thought it looked a little bit nicer, a lot more subtle. I was working on trying to get giant crops again here because I originally had them on the farm, but I had to take them down to when I redecorated. So yeah, it's not happening just yet, clearly, but we'll get there again to remember how to get out. Okay, let's move on down. So here is where all my honey hives are, the beehives, and I've got chests there because obviously it used to all automate and go straight into the chest when it was ready, which was super handy. If I have a look, yeah, so it's not automated anymore because I think I took that mod out, but it used to. So that would be in there. And then along the bottom here, before we go to the animals, what did I have here? I can't even remember what I had. Oh, the fish ponds, of course, but I was wondering what I actually had in them. I don't remember what fish are in there, but yeah, clearly I was working on something with that. Plus we've got all my crab pots, and I believe these connected to one of these chests originally because obviously it saved me having to go into them. Got my recycling and all that here. That used to be really handy. Wow, it's just, it's been so long. Let's go into the animals and just check those out because I have a really cool mod called the Coops and Barns mod. And it changes the interior. Obviously the buildings is medieval buildings in case you're interested. But yeah, I love how this changed the interior of the barns and coops. It just makes it look much prettier, I think. And obviously with Elle's animal replacements. Oh, is that telling me I need to pet them? Yeah. But with Elle's animal replacements, they just have more variety and colour, and I just really like that. But I have all my machines lined up along here, of course, so yeah. I used to spend so much time in this file, and it's been so long since I've been able to see it and play around with it. What have we got in here? Ah, we've got the cows and... oh, just cows in here. I thought I mixed them. Oh, we do. We have goats as well. We have goats as well. And again, obviously all the machines that we need. And then I've got one more of each. I believe this one is the dinosaur. No, it's not. I told you it's been a while. But no, we've got pigs and sheep in this one. And I believe the last little coop has got the dinosaur and rabbits. I believe. But it has been a while. Yeah, so we've got our rabbits and we've got our dinosaur. I've only got the one at the moment because I believe when I first stopped playing, I'd only had the one and I was waiting for more eggs. So hopefully I can get loads of those soon. It will be so cool to play around in this file again. It's been so long and I'm loving seeing this because it's super nostalgic for me. Now this building here is actually the slime hutch, but I downloaded a mod that changed it into a winery looking building. And it matched the medieval buildings perfectly, so I really loved it. But I didn't like the slime hutch and I never used it. But what I did want to do is have some kind of vineyard area. So in other seasons I was growing grapes and stuff and it all looked really pretty along here. And then inside, I believe was just kegs, yeah, and a really pretty backdrop. And I used to obviously just make all my wine in here as well. So I really love this building in this area. It's just super cute. Let's move on out and carry on up. Now in here is where I would grow anything that I needed for the windmill, so sugar, rice, things like that would all go in here. And then if I can remember how to get out, because again it's been so long. This is obviously the main farm area. I have two massive sections for all my crops, as you can see, and I do have two dynamo huts which will harvest the entire lot, so I lined it up perfectly so that they have everything in range, which is super handy. So yeah, and one of the mods I did add was a bunch of new crops. So you'll see I've got the vanilla crops, but I've also got a bunch of new ones to play around with. Because at the point that I was in the game, I had played it so much and for so long that I wanted to add some freshness to it and experiment with some new mods and things and see how it felt. But up here we've got Grandpa's shrine, and I just decorated it with some flowers that I changed every season, so I really like that. Oh, and I've got all 4 candles lit. I didn't even know that. I didn't even remember that. That's brilliant. Aww. Now this little area I remember this. It is one of my favourite areas. We're going to start with a little building. This is just my workshop. And this has my machines in it, my furnaces. And again, this used to all automate. So I would put a bunch of wood in here and coal, and it would chuck it all into the kilns for me. And the same with the furnaces. So it was super handy. And the crystallariums, as soon as they were done, would go into the chest and it would redo them again. So that was amazing. And that way it left me more time to focus on Ginger Island and things in the beginning. I've got my work table and it's connected to the chest, so it's got everything here that I can create, which was super handy. But the next building I'm excited to show you is literally probably my favourite place on the entire farm. I love coffee, and so for me, I wanted to make like a little coffee house on the farm. So this is my little coffee house, and it's just like I remember it. So I've got tea growing on one side and coffee on another, and then obviously I would put it into the barrels, or the kegs as they're called, when it was ready, and obviously I would store them in here. I don't think there's anything in there at the moment, no. But yeah, I mean, this is one of my favourite parts of the entire farm. I used to love this. I was so proud when I made this. And obviously we're going back quite a few years now, so it's really exciting to see all this again. Now, obviously I do have a little tractor here, so I use this and I had some fun around Skull Cavern and Deep Woods with that, which was fun. But let's go into the cave, because I do have another mod in here that I become obsessed with, and that is the Hot Spring Farm Cave. And basically it's exactly what it says. It turns your cave into a hot spring. So in early game, this was super handy. I could come down here, replenish my energy before I had access to the bathhouse, and yeah, be able to carry on. Obviously I can't do that in my tiny garden farm challenge on the channel because it would give me too much of an advantage. So I'm not using the farmhouse in that game or this mod, but it is one of my favourites that I play in my personal game. And I believe I had a mod that allowed you to craft the mushroom boxes. I don't know if I've still got that in. Yeah, I do. No, that's not it. No, I used to have one. Whether it's still, oh, there it is, the mushroom box. Yeah. So there was a mod that allowed you to create more mushroom boxes, so I could plant as many as I wanted. But I just kept the 6 in the end. I didn't really want to fill up anymore because I don't use them too often at that point in the game. But the last major mod I've got, or one of them actually, because I think there is one more, is the greenhouse. Now you can get so many expansions for the greenhouse, and some of them are absolutely ridiculously huge. But I didn't want anything too big. It bugged the hell out of me that you could never get the correct amount of sprinklers. They were always off-centered, you know, you had to put one lot on the ridge. I wish, you know, I like things symmetrical, as you probably can tell by now, and lined up and organised, and so it really drove me crazy that I couldn't do that with the vanilla greenhouse. So I downloaded this expansion. It's just a little bit bigger, but it allows me to have exactly an equal amount, which is perfect. But what I love about it is this extra area over here specifically for trees, which is really pretty. And I believe this is called the Oasis Greenhouse, if I remember rightly. I did kind of skim over my folder just to try and remember what some of them were called to be able to tell you. But yeah, it's the Oasis Greenhouse, and it is literally the only one out of so many that I tried that I really love. And it's also got another hot spring out back to replenish your energy. So that's super handy. Having all these different places to go makes it really easy when I need to do that. Although at this point in the game and a lot of star drops, you don't really tend to need to do that anymore very often. Oh, but it does have a little basement area, if I just show you real quick as well. But I haven't put anything down here yet, clearly. I didn't know what to do with this area, so I haven't done anything with it at the moment. But maybe one day I will. But yeah, that is the greenhouse. Oh, it is amazing seeing this after so long. I hope you're enjoying it. Then there's our little cat, and it's exactly the same cat that I've added to our Tiny Garden Farm challenge as well. I believe it's actually called Willa. I believe. Let me just do the mod. Hang on. If it will let me. Yeah, she's called Willa as well. Fantastic. I thought I did. Right, now there's only one other thing I want to show you. If you saw the original farm tour, you'll see that I did a lot up by the bathhouse. You know, I put pathing down, I decorated it. But right before I had to stop playing this, I tore it all up because I wanted to redo it a bit differently. And I haven't got around to that yet because obviously I could no longer get into the file. But I do have a mod that I want to show you just in case you've never seen it. And it's the Hot Spring Bathhouse. I'm not sure that's what it's actually called, but basically it just changes the bathhouse into a more spa looking place, I believe, rather than just the plain grey. So we'll just head on in. But yeah, as you can see, you've got this lovely changing area with scenery out the back. It just looks really nice. And you pass through the changing room right here and go down into the spa. And it's done like a really, really pretty hot spring. How cool is this? I love this. It just makes it so much prettier. And it goes all the way down, just like the original one. They've just changed, you know, the textures and that. But I just think this looks really cool. So this is one of my favourite mods to use. Since I discovered mods back in the day, I tried so many different ones and become obsessed with them because it just added so much more fun to the game. I mean, I love this game exactly as it is, completely vanilla. But, you know, after a while, it was fun to try new things and experiment with new crops. And yeah, just change the look of things up a little bit, you know, make it look good, make it look different and keep it fresh. It was like playing a whole new game all over again, especially when you had additions like Stardew Valley Expanded and Ridgeside Valley, things like that. So I definitely would love to do a playthrough of all of those at some point. But yeah, that is our beautiful farm. So I hope you enjoyed this. I'm going to be jumping into our Tiny Garden Farm Challenge a bit later and carrying on with that, hopefully making us a lot more progress. But for now, I hope you did enjoy seeing this. Hopefully you had fun, because it was amazing for me to jump into this and I'm glad I got to show you at the same time. But just, I want to say, as always, thank you so much for all your support, for all your amazing comments and likes on all the content on the channel. It really does mean the world to me and I can't thank you enough. But until next time, take care wherever you are in the world and I will see you soon. Bye!